Welcome on into the video, everyone. My name is RobinVouz. Today we are checking out Drop Duchy, or at least the demo that's available during the Steam Next Fest. Now, what is Drop Duchy? Drop Duchy is a game I can only describe as Risk meets Tetris, which is an absolutely wild comparison to make now that I'm saying it out loud, but it's a comparison I don't think I couldn't make. For the Risk aspect, you're going to have to wait until we get to the section that allows us to place garrisons and military units against enemies. However, the Tetris aspect, you can 100% see here. This is Tetris, except instead of clearing rows, you're wanting to maximize terrain, which I think is very interesting. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get this in here. There we go, we can do a line here, so we're missing out on this T-shape down here, but that's fine. As see there, it said line explored. Now, the goal is to not clear lines and drop everything down, but instead to clear lanes to gain resources. Here we gained 13 food from the plains and the farm, which or the field, which is being generated from the farm. It turns the plains into field within a range of 2 tiles. And then we also gained wood from this section of forest as well. Here we have a watchtower, which is part for military. Now here we will recruit 1 archer for each plain in range and 3 archers for each field in range. So for example, if we place this down here, we've gained 12 archers despite having no plains around. We have a wood clearer, which will turn each forest in range into a plains, which I think is fine to put here. That'll give us some plains here. That'll generate more archers for us as well, like so. That'll explore this line, giving us the abundance of food and some wood as well. Let's reserve this Z shape, place a brick here, put T shape here. This will turn into field or plains. We'll gain archers. We'll get 1 more field here from the farm. That'll give us an extra 2 archers. So everything stacks up like this and we gain more lanes, giving us more resources. It's very, very cool to see how everything ramps up. It's also very cool to see your tiles actively interact with your buildings as you continue playing. So I'm a very big fan. I'm a very, very big fan of the style of this game, and I'm excited for the full release because I'm loving every single part of what I can see here. And I especially love the combat, which we will get onto very soon. After finishing a mission or a day, you can select a card, and this adds more buildings. So you can choose a military building or a production building. This row test collects 5 gold for each terrain square within its row. We can collect a strategic pavilion, which will recruit 5 archers for each adjacent military building. And there's quite a long building as well. Or we can get a training camp, which sends 8 military resources to each allied military building aligned with it. This looks interesting. I'm interested to try that out. So we'll take that along with us. Next, we have a guild up next, where we can obtain a building card. And this allows us to add to our deck. We'll take production since we already selected a military card previously. And then we have a number to choose from. Farms are just good in general. However, we could take herborist to instead focus on forests and gain health. The little shield with the weapons is our health up here. Or we have archered, allowing us to harvest food and wood if adjacent to a production building. I think I just want to go farm, however. I think farm is a real nice tile to have. It's 1 square, and upgrading our plains to fields is incredibly helpful. We're going to go to the gold depot to obtain hopefully bonus gold. We can immediately accept a gift, gaining 150 gold, or we can make a trade, sacrificing some of our defense for 300 gold, which we're going to do, because 15 defense we can go without for now. And up ahead, we have a hostile region. I'm glad we went this way, because otherwise we would have went to the peaceful region. So we're going to go here and hopefully show off the combat, and hopefully do a good job in doing so. Here we have the enemy deck, so we can see what exactly we're playing against here. We have a rally point, which will recruit 3 axemen for each adjacent plane or field, plus 5 if adjacent to at least 6 planar field. We have a mercenary camp with just a flat 9 archers garrisoned inside it, and another rally point. For us, we have our farm or watchtower wood clear. However, we do have enough food to unlock a new slot, which we'll do here to add our training camp to get some more military resources, and then we can ready up. Now, the way the game handles fighting the enemy is incredibly interesting, because you get to choose where their building is placed. So for example, I am going to line up my terrain like so. In fact, I think I do want maybe this here. And then we have the rally point here. So this will recruit 3 axemen for each adjacent plane. If I place this here, we're going to be given this unit a lot of military resources. So instead, we're going to place this down here and hopefully focus on forest instead of plains around this building. It'll stay with 8 units garrisoned, but it won't gain any more. What we are then going to do, I think, is place a wood clear here. I did not mean to do that. I completely thought it was a farm, but that's fine, because if we build forests up here, like here, that'll turn into plains for us, which is fine, without affecting this rally point, which is really, really good. We've kind of messed up the corner here, so we're going to lose our roll, but that's okay. Playing it safe rather than sorry. Let's have another shape here. Let's maybe just do another one here. I will continue building plains, I think, along here. And we've got a mercenary camp with garrison. We can place that anywhere, because it doesn't matter where it's placed. It won't gain any units from being near specific areas. We can place a farm here if we want to gain more plains. Now we really need to try and place these forests where they will benefit us most. For example, down here would be nice. So we turn these into plains, which is fine. We've explored our line, and we'll hopefully get another Z shape to come here to just block this off with forest completely. Or we could just be silly and block it off like this. So we would lose this square, but that's fine because we can't complete this lane anyway. So I think that's a fairly decent choice. We have more farms here. We've got another rally point. That's okay, because we have these forests here. So again, another lane we won't complete, but that's perfectly fine. I'm not too sure where I want to put this T-shape. I think I'm okay putting this in here to complete this line. And then we've got a watchtower, which will benefit for each field in range. I think instead, what I want to do, put this here. So again, not completing this line, but that's okay, because we will instead benefit this watchtower here substantially. We have a training camp, which sends 8 resources to each allied military building aligned with it. First, let's get a forest down here, complete this line. Now we can maybe put this down here. Again, a bit silly because we're not filling this line, but we are getting 8 more resources, which is very nice. We could then put this tile down here. We can then put this tile down here, explore this line, and then we can maybe put this down here. So now it's combat. So how the combat works, it's basically rock, paper, scissors. Your swordmen do more damage to archers, archers to axes, axes to swords. How it would work is you would drag your unit to the weaker unit. So we want to fight the axes first, as we'll deal more damage. We have 50% more strength. If we sent the archers to the enemy archers, we'd lose 9 archers from our total. Instead, if we send it to the axes first, we'll have more units to distribute across this battle. So we do this, we send it down here, and then we send it back. Then we gain 3, as that's 12 minutes. 9. If you had more allied units, you could reinforce your units by sending archers to swords. If you have more swords than arrows, you would basically convert your archers into the swordmen. So that's another very interesting factor to, I guess, factor in. There's a little bit of math you need to consider with the game. And I think that adds to the interest of this. I think it's a very unique game. I think what they've pulled off is something I would have never expected. Like I said, stating a game is what happens when you mix Tetris with Risk is just something I never would have expected to say, but one that I'm pleasantly happy to see as a game because it works. It absolutely works. Here we have a garrison of 30 units. We have the watchtower, which is plain and field. We have the rally point, which is plain and field. And we have the mercenary camp, which is garrison. So we need to, again, surround these in forests. We bought extra food, so we can unlock this slot for ranger base. And then we might as well unlock the next slot for another farm to help us buff our one archer unit. We're going to reserve this, just stick with the T-wall here. We're going to build this out a little more. And then we're going to place this rally point down here, where we will start to build out our forest. Let's get these S block here. If we do this, we've got our line explored, and now this is cut off from the plains. Let's do our watchtower. Let's do our watchtower maybe here. There we go, got 6 units already. And then we've got our farm directly next to it for an additional, what will it be? An additional 6, which is nice. We can then put another tile here. That'll turn into farm. We'll gain extra units for our watchtower as well. We've now got a ranger base, which recruits 3 archers for each connected forest piece. Now this is for each piece, not tile. So we can place this anywhere we want, really. We can place this down here. So we only gain 3, but then when we place this block on top of it, as long as it's connected here, we're going to get another 3, which is really, really nice. I am actually going to do that now, I think. And then this watchtower, again, send right down in this corner, away from any plains, away from any fields. We have another forest piece we could put here. That'll give us another 3 archers. And then we have a training camp, which will send 8 military resources to each allied military building aligned with it. If we put this down here, we reduce the total number of resources we could get otherwise, but we're gaining 8, so that's absolutely fine. That's another line explored. We can then put this tile here. That'll give us more resources with the ranger base. We could now, since this is cut off completely, build down here, for example, if we wanted. Nope, there we go, it's a ranger 2. But, because it's not a field, they only got 1 extra resource, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. Mercenary camp can come... Oh, this is only allied, so I should be able to place this here fine. Another farm, we could maybe put here. Then, this forest we can put here to build up more resources. We can then maybe reserve? No. Let's stick with the forest. Oh, I'm not too sure, actually. We could do this. We have a plains, or a plains block we can just put down here for now. We have a wood clear, turn each forest into a plain and gain 5 wood for our resources. We could do that, and I am going to do that. Nice. The only issue is now, if we put this here, this obviously isn't going to connect. So we've kind of stopped ourselves from getting more military resources, which is rather unfortunate. But it's okay, because we, regardless, have many more military resources than the enemy does. So we still win no matter what. Multi-exploration, because we've built multiple rows at once, we've gotten far more resources. A bit like you get more points for clearing multiple rows in Tetris at once. Here we have the combat phase. We only have archers, So we're going to have to do this and start the battle. Now, hopefully I can find military building which gives us axes or swords, so the gameplay is a little more interesting rather than me just combining archers together. But that's battle 1. Now, the gameplay is basically this, going forward, but you do collect more and more cards. For example, here, we are maybe going to go... I do like the plane and field synergy, so let's go with the axes. What you'll see is at the end, you also have boss battles, and these are very, very interesting fights that will hopefully make it to, so I can show them off for you. Let's take a trade. I'm happy to live on the edge, and we can buy some health back with our gold if we want. We have plenty of it to do so. I'm happy to get the extra wood. Let's also spend some wheat to take our new rally point card, and then we can ready up. The final boss in the demo, you only get to fight against the wall. And that's a very, very interesting enemy. Let's reserve this, maybe place this here, and then we can place a farm here. I'll get back onto what I was talking about in a brief second. I just need to set up my forests and whatnot. I've kind of ruined my game plan here already, unfortunately, which isn't too good, but this will probably have to be good enough. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. At rally point, we can maybe then place here, which is golden. Fantastic. This cube we could place here if we wanted. The training camp we can place around here as well. That sounds good. We can even place this here instead to get more plains and farm around here. In fact, this piece is going to be fantastic at doing so. The wall is interesting, because rather than just building straight up, you're encouraged to build compact lines. And for each turn you take, the wall, which is, I think, down here normally, will start to push up and up and up and up. And then when it gets to the top, that's when the boss fight begins. I believe if you build up straight to the wall without pushing it up first, the boss fight will begin early, which means you might not have any resources to take it on. It's a very, very interesting mechanic, and I'm very excited to see more of what's to come in the full game when it comes to the bosses, because I'm super intrigued. I'm super intrigued. Let's get another farm maybe here. Yeah, I like that. And then we can start to build some forests. I don't like these tiles here, but we might as well put them there. This is a garrison 10. That can just be here to fill this line in. We could put this... Do I just want to put this here first? Let's do it. This should be fine. We should have more than enough units soon enough. There you go. There's an extra 8. There's some more farms. Once there are more fields, once they're converted from the farm. There we are. More forests. Put this here. More forests again. Might as well build up, I suppose. And then do this. Now we have a ranger base. Recruit 3 for each connected forest piece. So that's a ton of archers there. We have a wood clear, which will turn each forest into a plains, which I don't think benefits us actually. So maybe we should focus on connecting more forests. We do have a rally point here, which we want away from the plains. So we can do this. And now I think we're ready to just start our fight. I want to say if you can't fully connect a piece, it'll just start the fight for you. But I don't really want to try that just in case I'm wrong. Well, actually, now I can. There's the multi-exploration as well, giving us extra bonuses. Let's try it here. There we go. So it does just automatically start the fight. But in doing so, you are missing the ability to gain extra resources from those line clears. So do keep that in mind. Swords greater than archers. There's no swords in the field. Archers are greater than axes, which we have lots of. We have some of our own. And then axe better against swords. But the enemy doesn't have any swords either. So what we can do is we can actually take out all the enemies without our axes alone. And then do this. So we'll combine our archers here. We lose hardly any since we're more effective than the axes. We lose 10, but then we'll combine back with our axes anyway. So we gain a lot of units at the end, and we win nice and easily like so. We are, like I said, And you do gain gold for having more additional units as well. So it's important to try and maximize your army as much as you can. With a wheelbarrow giving us 10 gold when exploring a single row. Militia, where military buildings recruit 2 military resources for each production building adjacent to it. And lumber camp, harvesting 2 wood for each connected forest. Let's go with militia. There we go. We'll continue to the boss battle, and then I think I'll wrap it up, as there's not a whole lot more. In fact, I'll show you a couple extra meta progression options we have afterwards as well, because that's going to be very interesting to some, I believe. There we are. And then we can use our excess gold, since it's the end, just to get ourselves back up to 50. That way, if we lose, we should still have a chance at winning. Unfortunately, we don't have food to get a new slot, but that militia card, I don't think is one we need to keep in our deck. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case. So that's just a permanent bonus we have, I think. Again, I 100% could be wrong. And interestingly enough, you are able to, this is actually brand new information to me, you can upgrade the cards using your resources. This is another reason why resources are important. It's not just important to trade for new cards, or even trade for more health, but you are able to use them to upgrade the cards you already have. So for example, we can recruit 4 archers for each connected far space, or we can increase the range of the farm that we have here. This one's 2. We can increase that to 3, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. I think having this to 2 is a no-brainer as well. So we're not able to upgrade anymore, but just having more field available is going to be super, super helpful. The enemy has a rally point, which cares about food, plains and fields. They have strategic pavilions, which cares about being adjacent to military buildings, not necessarily allied by the looks of it as well. So just being by any. So if they're above, say, a rally point, that'll gain an extra 7 units. And they have a fortress as well, which cares about forests. Turns each adjacent forest into plains and recruits 4 for each. So that's going to be interesting working around. Note that they have axes, swords, and arrows now. We only have, we do have swords too. So that's very nice. For the swords, it looks like we need to place a training camp by itself. But I think it's better just stacking up our axes instead to take on the swords a bit easier. So this is the wall. As I said, it mentions quite low. I believe this is the exact line I said it spawns on. We need to try and build very compactly to slowly push this up over time. Let's do this here. And then let's send this down. And then move this to the right. I messed that up completely. That's such a shame. This turns adjacent forests into plains and buffs itself for each. So we're going to send this to the side like so. This is the ranger base, which will buff itself for each connected forest piece. So that's fine. We have a chance at bringing this back and buffing ourselves more, which is really, really handy. Farm here. Ranger 3, it doesn't matter if I have this down here by itself, I think. All of this is now fields. With a wood clear, which turns each forest into a plains. I don't necessarily want to do that because that'll buff this. So I might just have to place this plains down here, even if I don't get the full line clear. We do have a watchtower, however, which we can place perhaps here to buff itself when around these tiles. This is Ranger 3, so this will get 1 more plains upgrade here. We could put this line down here if we so wanted to do so, and that way if we get forests here, we'll get even more units as well. As see, the wall has been pushed up, which is really nice. We can then have this T block down here. There we are. And then if we wanted, we could have the training camp here. But I'm not too sure if I want to do that, because we do need to connect the forests a bit better first. However, having an extra 8 is going to be really nice. Versus, I think that would just be 6 if we did connect that line there. We have a wood player. I don't really want to use you, so let's just put you here. We can put this plains down here. We could put this block here and hope for an S piece to come in the near future. We've got a rally point. Recruit 3 axes for each adjacent plane or field. Or I can maybe put this down somewhere if we wanted. Can't really put this down here, can we? Or we could. That would... No, we can't. We need to connect this area. So let's go for the rally point, and let's just put this here. Again, not the most efficient with our placements, but it will unfortunately have to do. Next, we do have our T-shaped forest, which is actually going to connect these blocks. And this wall is getting further and further up. It is reducing in power as well. There we are. That is a very healthy amount of resources being sent here. Strategic pavilion, we just need to keep this away from adjacent military buildings. If we put this here, again, we'd lose that block, which would be a shame, but I think it's fine. We could even do this for now. That pushes this up. We could then push this here, and then we could have this pavilion. Well, I don't really want that here yet. We could even just have this block here, and I don't know if this will push up any further. I think this is where it'll stay, which is a shame. There we go, that's another line explored. Let's have our strategic pavilion here. And then, yeah, I think this is it. This is a game starting. I, unfortunately, am not confident at all with our build. It looks like we are not really getting a lot of units out of this that we need. They have quite a lot of enemies garrisoned, but we do have a lot of health, so we should be okay. So this is a wall. It can't rotate, and it can't be sent to reserve. We need to place it, so that's it placed now. Now it's the combat phase, and again, we need to do rock, paper, scissors. So we need to send our archers into the axes. We then need to send the surplus archers here. This is actually going to be rather tough. If we send these into the axes, they'll deal with the swords better, but they will then be killed by the archers a bit easier. So we need to have a think about how we do this. We could send the archers straight into the axes and then send the surplus into the axes here to then take on the archers. I don't know if that'll be enough. Better yet, or not into those, because that'll just kill them. Yeah, this is a tough one. We can't actually utilize the axes at all, because since we have more archers here, they'll just be swallowed up. Or the axes will be swallowed up. So what we're willing to do is something like this. And then something like this. And then hope that's enough to take on. But unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. And I don't think I really utilized our militia here either, where we would have gained more military resources for each connected production build. But we can try this out and see what happens again. We definitely don't have any army remaining to take on everyone. So I believe we take 23 damage here. I think that's how it works. Battle's over. So even if you don't finish a battle, that isn't game over. That is what your health's here for. This is a hard boss battle as well. So even if we continue, we still win. And I like that it's not so punishing where one bad boss battle ruins your run completely. I like that you still get the win if you have been able to manage your resources properly. If you have excess gold at the end, you can just use that to help give yourself more health to take on the boss as well. This game has been really enjoyable to try out, and I am very excited for the full release, which I believe it is slated, as it's stated there, for the beginning of May. Be sure to wishlist it to support the devs if you are interested in checking out the game. We have missions here. The missions will have little goals where if you complete them, you will gain resource points to purchase or unlock new tiles, new cards, etc. For example, here, place an allied military building of each unit type in a single round. We haven't done that yet, but we have ended a combat round without a single allied unit. We have also won a combat round despite starting with less military units. So it's interesting that it shows, or it provides different types of challenges to pick up. As you see, there's many different categories. You have production focus, you have a combat focus, you have specific challenges where it looks like you need a specific number of units or a specific amount of resources being picked up in a single round. You have deck building challenges. You even have boss challenges. Winning the battle with no enemies left against the wall is one I have got. However, defeating the wall is one I haven't got, because again, you don't need to oh no, I think that's the opposite way around. I haven't beaten the wall with no enemies left, but I have won the level against the wall because I had enough health to do so. And then you also have general progress, and then you can spend that over here with the progress tree. This allows you to buy new cards, this allows you to buy new buildings, and they will spawn throughout the game. Here you even have new terrain, so you're not limited to just fields and forests. You have so much more. You have new locations and mechanics as well, and it's very interesting to see what's to come. And of course, you do have different factions, so they will have their own playstyle. Obviously here, we have 3 different factions here, only one's available in the demo. And it also looks like this this progress tree is very extensive. Very, very, very extensive. There is a ton here on offer, so it looks like there's going to be a lot of content in the game with quite a considerable amount of replayability. So I'm very, very excited to see what's to come. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed this style of first impressions reviews, I have many more hopefully coming in the near future, so be sure to subscribe if you're interested in checking out new indie games coming out very, very soon. My name has been RobinVouz. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you have enjoyed seeing what I've been playing, again, please do check out the game. The link will be in the description below, and drop a little wish list to support the devs. And of course, let me know what you think about Drop Duchy in the comments as well. I hope to have more videos out regularly every week, but otherwise, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you again very soon.